we went to Newtown in mid-Wales to visit the garden of Dolly Childs, who created her garden based upon a host of happy childhood memories.
When I come in my garden, I escape to another place. I feel a sense of peace, tranquility, and happiness. Seeing the sunlight filtering all through the leaves and the light breeze and the sounds of the birds singing is like a paradise to me. I grew up in Jamaica, West Indies, in East Portland, up in Scotland. Creating a garden like this remind me of home. It take me back to my childhood, walking down a hill and seeing the sunrise coming up, seeing the sea and all the ponciana and the bloom and the flowers and everything just bursting out. I came over in 1976 after I just got married, and I looked at my husband and I went, oh my God, it's freezing, yeah? Sorry. I said to him, where are the tropical plants? Oh, the house looked grey. I said, where is no river? Where I can't stay here. Sorry. My children left home. They grew up and left home. I miss them. I miss them terrible. And once missed them, I start thinking about home again. So I started a garden and I joined Newtown Gardening Club. And those were the days you get 50p plants, so you get swap. And I started to build on it slowly. From ever since, I just keep on with the garden. The plants in itself, I don't just plant. I visualize where they're going to be because I try to bring back the memory of what I've actually seen as a child. And even now, I can visualize the pathway down the river, the leaves, the trees, the brooks, the fruits, everything is just clear, still in my head. You wouldn't believe how I get this plant. I visit a place, Hunt Avenue in Newtown, and it was growing on the bank. I said to the caretaker, you mind if I had a bit of cutting of that plant? And she said, why do you ask? I said, it reminds me of home, it's very tropical looking. And then she gave me a cuttings, and from the cuttings, this is how I have this. It's been here now 3 years, and every year I come out, and it just reminds me walking down through the bush in Jamaica. Here in Wales, the climate is one of my drawbacks, and I learned there must be a way of getting foliage colour. And I noticed that some of the plants were the same, so I find a lookalike plant that can withstand the harsh winter, like the rice plant, the japonica, and the hardy palms, which has got leaves looking like coconut trees. This is another plant of my lookalike tropical plants, named Palomia foxglove tree. It's a hardy perennial. It lost its leaf in the winter, but come back springtime. Some of these trees, they actually flower, but what I did is to cut back the plant in springtime to get the foliage, because the foliage is bring back memory of seeing a lot of trees with the big trumpet leaves or foliage growing in the tropics. I bought it about $3.99 a long time ago. I look for bargains in the shops. You don't have to keep on going out and buying a lot of small plants to make it look tropical. Few plants like this give a big impact to a small garden. I collect horse manure, but it's real rotten horse manure. And the banana, they love it. I started up on the hills, and my husband said, you crazy going up there asking them for horse manure? I said, well, the garden needs it. And from there on, a lot of people know that, oh, Dolly wants osmanthus, so she needs for the garden. So when they come and visit the garden, they said, how did you manage to have it so lush and green? I said, osmanthus. My garden has been influenced by my My grandmother was from the Arawak Indian Taino tribe. She get plants and ground it and make it into medication. My grand would go and say, go and pick this plant or that plant, and she will make it as a herbal tea. We live in the countryside up in the mountain, and there was no doctor. And as a premature baby, my grandmother used plants to help me to survive. So it gave me life. My grandmother used to like eating this plant. In Jamaica, we call it taro plant, but this one is called pink china. And the taro is like a tuber, and when the tuber is fit enough to be eaten, it contains a lot of carbohydrates and it gives you a lot of energy. It's very hardy. I left it out in the winter and it come back. My grandmother, one of the things was that she will not have her photograph taken because she believes that you take away her spirit. So a lot of things in the garden just remind me of my gran. This garden, it really gives me a sense of well-being, security, and how to survive in life. And my way of surviving is to have memories, and they're sweet memories.
As well as being a lovely garden, I love the way that Dolly associated the spirit and soul of her grandmother, as well as the visual memories, with plants. Is to deadhead and keep deadheading. And not just the usual suspects like dahlias, but ephophias, heleniums, buddleia, sunflowers. They will all continue to flower and go on flowering for as long as possible if you keep deadheading. Well, this is certainly the Jewel Garden's hour. It is positively bubbling and erupting with rich colour. The sunflowers are out with their shades of yellow through to caramel. There are the oranges of the Tithonias, the flare of flower on the cannas, and those wonderful burgundy banana leaves. Who needs flowers when you have foliage that looks as good as that? And we've got the shocking pink of this phlox that was meant to be magenta, but was the wrong shade. And we've never had the heart to take it out, and it's been flowering like this for 20 years and probably will for another 20 years. But no more flowering today because we've run out of time, and I'm away next week. So until then, bye-bye.